In this episode of Don't Nix the Book, we're going to be talking about My Sister Lives on the Mantelpiece by Annabel Pitcher. So, My Sister Lives on the Mantelpiece. It's a dark context book from the point of view of a child. There's a lot of those out there, and I really don't understand what age range these are meant for. I don't know, because you'd expect them to be for children because of, the protagonist, but when you're dealing with really, really dark subject matter, I personally don't know who to give the book to, or who would enjoy the book the most, at least. So, it's about a young boy who's going through a lot of stuff, and his sister, that lives on the mantelpiece, is deceased. Now, this book deals with some really dark subject matter. Trigger warning here. Death, grief, abandonment, terrorism, eating disorders, and alcoholism. So it's not a light-hearted story. While it does have a happy ending, it's really dark, but it's from the point of view of a 10-year-old, so it can't be that in-depth about anything, because a 10-year-old's not going to understand all of that. He recognises that his sister's been killed in a, bombing, which is based on one that actually happened, with garbage cans and explosives inside them. But he doesn't understand everything, and he also doesn't understand why his father hates his best friend, who is Muslim. So there's also Islamophobia in here. The plot is really interesting. It's detailed. You get to see a lot of people going through and dealing with grief in different ways. His sister develops an eating disorder, his father develops alcohol addiction, his mother literally ups and leaves and doesn't speak to anyone or, acknowledge that she has children anymore. And so with all of those things, you get a really interesting storyline because of the naivety that the main character has. And the thing that I didn't like is that every single plot point was really predictable. You know what's going to happen next. There's no surprises in this book. And just really strange, because if you'd done it from the perspective of the sister, you get a lot more in depth with these things and you know a lot more of what's going on sooner. But you get it from the little boy's perspective, and I don't. It's one of those things, it's done by a lot of authors, and it confuses me. The writing was alright. It, nothing to write home about, if you get my joke. But this kind of hit a, 5 out of 10. It was a mid-range book. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't literal toilet paper, but I guess it was okay. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a good one.